Now the Riemann glottis, what is its function? Riemann glottis, as we know, what is the Riemann glottis? The one important function, it participates in the phonation. And just opposite to the Riemann vestibuli, this Riemann glottis permits exit of air during expiration. It permits, while it prevents the entry of the air during the inspiration. Just opposite to the Riemann vestibuli. So this acts as the entry valve, while the Riemann vestibuli acts as the exit valve. Riemann glottis participate in the phonations. Now the muscles of the larynx, like the membrane, that is divided into extrinsic membrane, intrinsic membrane. Muscles is also divided into extrinsic muscles and the intrinsic muscles. But the definition is the different. The extrinsic membrane present on the external surface, intrinsic membrane present on the internal surface, lined by the mucous membrane. The extrinsic muscles and the intrinsic muscles same like the tongue. The tongue has also the extrinsic muscles and the intrinsic muscles. Here the extrinsic muscles that connects the laryngeal cartilage to the neighboring structures. The neighboring structures like the hard bone, like the pharynx. So the muscles that connect the larynx with the surrounding structures, they are the comes in the extrinsic muscles group. And these muscles basically has the two functions. Either they elevate the larynx or they depress the larynx. The primary elevators, these are the muscles that are attached to the posterior border of the thyroid cartilage. It is the stylopharyngeus, salpingopharyngeus, and palatopharyngeus. These are the three longitudinal muscles of the pharynx that are attached to the thyroid cartilage. They elevate the larynx, they come in the primary elevators. And the one muscles that is attached to the oblique line of the thyroid cartilage, that is the thyroid. These four muscles comes in the category of the primary elevators. Means they directly elevate because they are attached directly to the thyroid cartilage of the larynx. While the secondary elevators, they indirectly elevates the larynx. How? Through the hard bone, because the hard bone connected with the thyroid cartilage by the thyroid membrane and the thyroid ligament. So in this group, the secondary elevators, they are the suprahyoid muscles. Now, you should know the name of the suprahyoid muscles, and they are categorized in the secondary elevators of the larynx. Now the depressions. The depressions in this group, it comes the infrahyoid muscles. That is the sternothyroid, sternohyoid, and omohyoid. Except these thyroid muscles, it is the elevators. Remaining three infrahyoid muscles are the depression. The depress comes the larynx on their position. So this is the extrinsic muscles and their actions. Now the intrinsic muscles. The intrinsic muscles, those muscles that connect the cartilage of the larynx. They are grouped into the intrinsic muscles, and these intrinsic muscles act on, their action is on the opening, that is the laryngeal inlet. They open or close the laryngeal inlet. They act on the true vocal cord, that is the vocal fold. They abduct or adduct the vocal cord. They tense or relax the vocal cord. So the intrinsic muscles that acts on these two parts of the larynx. Now the intrinsic muscles. We will not discuss the origin and the insertions. The origin and the insertion, attachment indicated by the name of the muscles. As we discussed earlier, these muscles acts on the laryngeal inlet. The first action of the laryngeal inlet. The muscles that close the laryngeal inlet. It is the oblique arytenoid. Oblique arytenoid, in this diagram, this is the oblique arytenoid. This is the arytenoid cartilage, apex, base, and this is the muscular process. Now oblique arytenoid, name indicates it connect the apex to the muscular process of the other. This is the oblique arytenoid muscles. They are paired muscles. They connect the arytenoid. So this oblique arytenoid close the laryngeal inlet. Then another muscles, it is the artery epiglotticus. This is the artery epiglotticus muscles. From the epiglottis to the arytenoid cartilage. Artery epiglotticus. This muscle is present in the artery epiglottic fold. So these two muscles close the laryngeal inlet. Now the open the laryngeal inlet, it is the thyroepiglotticus. If you remember, this thyroepiglotticus muscles is also present in the artery epiglottic fold. So there are two muscles that are present in the artery epiglottic fold, is artery epiglotticus and the thyroepiglotticus. Thyroepiglotticus is the detached part of or a part of the thyroarytenoid muscles. These thyroarytenoid muscles, from the thyroid to the arytenoid, some fibers detach and goes to the epiglottis and becomes the thyroepiglotticus. So it is the O, A and T. This OA, this means they close oblique arytenoid and the artery epiglotticus. While the T, this is the thyroepiglotticus that open this laryngeal inlet. This is the laryngeal inlet. Now the muscles that abduct the vocal cord. Abduct the vocal cord. This is the vocal cord, green structures. In between green structures, this space, it is the rima glottis. Means they separate away, move laterally. So they open the rima glottis. As a result of which, air enters into the lower respiratory tract. And that is why it muscles, that is posterior phylloarytenoid muscles. It is also known as the safety muscles of the larynx. It is the safety muscles of larynx. It is the only muscles that abduct the vocal cord. that opens this rima glottis. And if you remember this ethmoid cartilage, the posterior cricoethmoid cartilage, this is the posterior cricoethmoid. From the muscular process to the posterior surface of the lamina of the cricoid cartilage. This is the ethmoid and the cricoid. They are paired, and this is the posterior cricoethmoid muscles. And these muscles, only muscles that abduct or open the rima glottis. And if these posterior cricoethmoid muscles of both sides are paralyzed, these two vocal ligaments, vocal fold, come close to each other, adduct, due to the adductor muscles, and as a result of which air does not enter into the lower respiratory tract region, and this leads to the death of the patient, and that is why it is known as the safety muscles of the larynx. While the adductor of the vocal cord, they adduct, they close this rima glottis space, and it is the lateral cricoethmoid. Lateral cricoethmoid in front of the muscular process. This is the lateral cricoethmoid, and the one end goes to the arch of lateral surface of this cricoid cartilage. It is situated in front, so it is the lateral cricoethmoid muscles. Then it is the cricothyroid muscles. This is the cricothyroid, connecting the cricoid cartilage with the thyroid cartilage. It is also the important muscles. We come next on. This is the cricothyroid muscles. Then it is the transverse ethmoid. Transverse ethmoid, they also connect this. It is the transverse direction. It is the transverse ethmoid. Why? This is the oblique. It is the oblique, and this is the transverse. This transverse ethmoid cartilage, the muscles, is only unpaired muscle of the larynx. Unpaired muscle of the larynx. Name the unpaired muscle of the larynx. It is the transverse ethmoid muscles, and its action is the adductor of the